Previously on The Real Movie Critics.
Although you did remind me of something. Have you seen the third Lost Boys movie, perchance?
I have. I've seen all three, unfortunately.
Well, I think the third movie has, without a doubt, one of my favorite vampire kills of all time. At the very end, when he's being held up by his brother, who's a vampire, and then he pulls the pipe, douses the master vampire with water, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then he starts blessing the fucking water while it's on him, and he burns. I'm like, dude, that's so fucking cool.
Now that brings up a question I just thought about though too. Say you have a vampire on the ground, he's not able to move or whatever, and you've blessed yourself. The water inside you is blessed.
If you piss on him, yes.
I was about to say, if you take a piss on him.
If you piss on him, yes. Because that is holy. It is holy water coming out of you.
These are all good ideas. I need to write this shit down.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of The Real Movie Critics, real reviews by real fans. You'll notice that we are a man short today. Unfortunately, Scuba Steve, Lord Scuba Cabra, will not be joining us probably for the next one or two episodes. He went out and became a dad again. I don't know what he's thinking, but no, all kidding aside, him and his wife Mel had their baby on Monday. I want to say it was about 7, 8 o'clock. So we wish them the best and welcome to the world to the new baby. I believe her name is
Sienna Ripley. Sienna Ripley.
I am not the biggest Alien fan, but even I can recognize that's awesome.
You have to.
So
and you get the Sienna reference, right? Terrifier. No. The main girl from Terrifier 2 and 3.
And he told me that a while back too. And I fucking got okay.
He's gonna kill you for that, by the way.
That's okay. He understands that I'm not a horror guy, so he may not kill me this next time. He might, but this time no. But we had debated on what we were gonna do this week. We were gonna review either Space Camp, which all three of us grew up with and loved, but because of the love that he has for that movie, the same with us, and the nostalgic reaction that we had to that movie, we will not be talking about Space Camp today.
No.
Just me and the Psycho Nerd talking about one of our childhood favorites that Scuba had never seen, and I really wanted his take on this movie. Maybe down the road we can do it again, but we're going to be talking about the movie Time Bandits, which premiered on November 6th, 1981, and this year is the 45th anniversary. Wow.
God, I'm getting old.
Yeah, fuck you. I have a birthday.
Yeah, that's right. You're older than me.
I have a birthday in a month. Yeah. And directed by Terry Gilliam. He's Monty Python, right?
He is. No? He did direct. It's funny. He's directed over 10 plus movies over the course of time. 3 of them I've seen, and all 3 of them I own. That's Monty Python and the Holy Grail, this movie, and then Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which I had to look that one up. I was like, what?
Whoa.
That explains a lot, because that movie is nuts.
And we talked about this before we went live, but this is a fun fact I want to throw out there now. But Time Bandits is the first in a 3-movie, quote-unquote, trilogy that Terry Gilliam has directed. Time Bandits, Brazil,
I've heard of it,
and The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
That one I've heard of. Never seen
all
it,
3 of those movies he has directed. They're not connected in any way, but they all have that weird, crazy vibe going on. So it makes sense. And the fact that it's a guy from Monty Python, it kind of makes sense that they would be the way they are. And I think they're there is some comedy in all three of these. I think Baron Munchausen has probably the most, but
I think it does, and that sounds like a very unofficial trilogy, kind of like the Cornetto trilogy, where there is no similarity between them outside of the same actors and the people that made it. Edgar Wright, I think it was. So
yeah.
Take that for what it is.
But our starring cast, David Rappaport as Randall. Fans of the show, the young ones, will know who this guy is because he plays two characters in the show. He plays Fatum. No one ever says Fatum.
What's a Fatum?
And he plays like a little garden gnome with this freaking
Shirley.
Shirley.
He plays Shirley. Shirley. Is that your name? Shirley. It's a girl's name. Yeah, Vivian's not much better.
I find funny Vivian's giving him shit for his name being Shirley, but yet he has a chick's name too. That just makes that funnier. If you've never seen the young ones, they are on YouTube. Fucking watch them. They're dry British humor back in the 80s, but they're fucking hilarious.
Yes, please do.
Think Three Stooges, but they're actually hitting each other. It's fucking great. Kenny Baker as Fidget. I feel like I know him from somewhere. Oh, that's right. He was D2.
Yeah, I thought I recognized him from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, he look. Yeah, I mean, the resemblance is uncanny.
Oh, I know. I think he lost some weight for this role. Jack Purvis as Wally. Wally was always my favorite in the show, in the movie.
I like him.
Wally was always my favorite because he was always the only one that would really stand up to Randall. Randall just kind of got possessed by certain things, and he's like the voice of reason, so to speak. You got Tiny Ross as Vermin, who eats everything.
No shit. He eats a rat for crying out loud.
Yeah. He ate a chicken when they got to the first spot.
Stop eating everything.
Malcolm Dixon as Strutter, which I thought was a Kiss song, but I guess it's a name too. Mike Edmonds as Og.
Some weird names, man.
Well, he definitely plays the role. Like he's not very bright. No. So I guess that was the only words he could remember.
I think when they were writing the script, they accidentally left out the H and just went with it.
Yeah, fair enough. We got Sean Connery as King Agamemnon and the firefighter.
My introduction to Sean Connery, if memory serves correctly. Because I saw that we saw this early.
I think it was mine too.
Yeah, we saw this very early. I'd never seen any of the Bond films before that, or Highlander.
I think we'd watch this on HBO because they had it. They always had the commercials for it, and they would show it quite often.
Yeah.
John Cleese as Robin Hood.
Very interesting Robin Hood.
Jolly good. How long you been a robber? 4'1". That is a long time. He stutters a lot in this movie. It's
worst Robin Hood ever.
At least he did it with an English accent. If you know, you know. David Warner as the evil in the thing. It's on the casting call. It says,
but in the movie, I think they just called him evil. So
evil, yeah. Which I think he's a phenomenal bad. He's a great bad guy. And if you've never seen him in the original Tron, he is such a dick on both ends, both the real and the digital world. Or actually, at that time, you can call it the analog world because we didn't have digital yet. I skipped somebody. Ian Holm as Napoleon. The Fifth Element.
Oh, come on. No. Yeah, that one. But also,
well, he was an alien too. Or alien.
But you're
was
missing
an alien. Okay.
Bilbo Baggins from the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Oh, that's right. You don't watch Lord of the Rings. Sorry. Boo to you, sir.
Lord of the Rings is horrible.
That's a bold statement on a show that's about movies.
I'm sorry. I stick to what whatever Randall said. Here's a third movie.
Even a fucking trees walked in those movies.
Yeah, no shit. Peter Vaughn as Winston the Ogre, and his lovely wife, Catherine Hellman, as Mrs. Ogre, who you would know from Who's the Boss and Soap, the TV show from the 70s. Not many people know about that one. That's actually a pretty awesome show. They have a pretty cool theme song, too.
And what else was she in? She played the mother in Overboard.
Yeah. Fuck, that's right. I forgot about that. Shit. I think she was my first redhead crush because she's a redhead and she's kind of cute. Yeah. Michael Palin as Vincent, who apparently has a pissing problem and is bald. Man, the dude just can't wait, Danny. That is such a Monty Python skit. I have a problem. What is it? I pissed my pants and I'm fucking bald. I got nothing for you, man. Here's some rubber underwear and a fucking ball cap. Have a nice day. Shelley Duvall as the Dame Pansy, who I recently was watching another movie she was in.
Popeye.
I love Popeye. It's a great movie.
I need to go back and rewatch Popeye. It's been forever. I need to give it another go after all these years.
I guess as a former sailor, it definitely has a kind of hits right here. Plus, it's fucking Popeye. Who doesn't love Popeye? And last but not least, and this is something we talked about before we went live, Jim Broadbent. I'm sorry, I almost said his name wrong. Jim Broadbent as the game show host. And of course, you would know him. What was his name in the Harry Potter movie? Which professor?
Professor Slughorn, I think. I think it was. Yeah. Don't quote me on that because I've only seen that movie a few times.
I think we saw him in the Half-Blood Prince initially when he was a different teacher, and they gave Snape the Ministry of the Dark Arts, which is what Snape wanted to begin with.
Yeah, because Dumbledore felt that he knew something, but he needed Harry to get it out of him. That was the whole purpose of that. So
pretty much whoever the teacher of the dark arts was pretty much wearing a red shirt. They were in and out pretty fucking quick. So, those that get that reference, we can be friends. But there were plenty of them. The producers had to mortgage their office building to help secure the $5 million budget for this movie. One of the producers, what's his name? Peter Harrison.
George Harrison.
Peter Harrison.
I caught that just a little while ago after finishing it. And I was like, George
Harrison was one of the producers. Actually, he was one of the executive producers. And it's funny, George did work with Gilliam, and George compared Gilliam to John Lennon in saying that he was difficult to work with. So, not a high praise. And this is like right after Lennon got killed in New York. Because this came out, I think he got killed in 80, and this came out in 1. Gilliam preferred practical handmade effects, wanting to stand out from the other major blockbuster movies at the time. We already talked about this, but George Harrison was a producer on the film and even wrote and performed Dream Away for the end credits. And Dream Away is one of my favorite all-time songs. It is. I never get tired of hearing it. It is such a great fucking song.
It's a fun song to play out the movie. I always liked it.
Yeah. It's a great song. And it's George Harrison who, when you think the Beatles, you think of John and Paul, who wrote most of the songs, but every now and again, George would throw in a bone here or there. Gilliam used low camera angles to maintain a child's perspective because, again, we have little people in the movie along with a child who was like a foot tall.
And it was pretty much told through his eyes pretty much. So it makes sense.
Gilliam felt that the actor who played Kevin couldn't carry the film, so he surrounded them with shorter actors.
Okay.
And again, that makes sense. And then it seems like you see a lot more, I'm not even sure what the proper term is anymore, little people. On the description it said dwarf. I don't want to say that word. It just doesn't seem right. But they seem to they use them a lot, and especially in this time frame, because we see them in the young ones quite a bit. We talked about that earlier. If you look in Kevin's bedroom wall, when they push the wall to the first portal, you'll see a picture of Superman right there on the side. I caught that just out of the blue. I was like, oh shit, fucking Superman. That's fucking cool. But if you look a little bit closer, you'll see pictures and posters of Napoleon, Agamemnon, tanks, and spaceships, which we would see later on in the film. So they're kind of foreshadowing what we're going to see. And this is kind of sad, but in 1996, a script for a sequel was being worked on, bringing back the original cast, minus Randall and Vernon, who had passed away. When the actor that played Wally passed away, the idea was...
Yeah, because if you can't bring as many of them back as possible, then why waste our time?
At the same time, there are certain movies, and I know Hollywood's going to hate me for saying this, but there are certain movies that don't need a sequel. I'm done. I don't need to know anything else. It's over. The guys are back in heaven working for the Supreme Being. Kevin is an orphan, I guess.
Yeah.
And actually, that's the story of how Harry Potter came to be. That was actually Harry Potter's parents. Kevin is Harry Potter.
That's fucked up, man.
He goes to Hogwarts and everything. No, I'm kidding. But when we getting out of the film, pretty much Kevin's parents have a pretty tight leash on him. he's a bit of a dreamer, a bit of a wanderer, fascinated
Very
with
much.
history. He loves history, and his parents, he's in bed by 9, which makes sense because I remember having a bedtime around 9:30 when I was about that age. So
More or
that
less.
makes sense. Yeah. And then in Kevin's little I don't know, closet, I guess you'd call it, is when all the guys show up. They think that Kevin is a supreme being. They're like, holy shit, we're caught. We have the map. And then they realize it's a fucking kid. Get the fuck out of here. We need to figure out where the portal is. They think Kevin knows, and Kevin's like, I don't fucking know.
No, he doesn't.
Shit.
He's pretty damn confused.
And then he's like, what the fuck? Where did you come from? It's very, very dumbfounded. And then they push the wall, and apparently there's more to the house than we thought because it moves, and they're pushing it, and then all of a sudden we see this bright white light. And Kevin's like, what the fuck is that? And then we get the return what you have stolen from me. And this big ass white head, return the map. And then chasing them, the wall gives out, they fucking fall. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It was so freaking
all...
random. That's this movie in a nutshell. It's so weird, so random. Everything comes out of nowhere, for real.
And they fall down, and this adventure with Kevin and the boys begins. They land, and I believe
somewhere in Italy. I forget
where they,
because it's where Italy, where Napoleon is apparently. So, in this movie, honestly, watching it now, I feel like it's almost like an unofficial anthology movie in the sense that they just keep going from different time periods, only for a short period of time, then they move on to another one. And not only that, but the whole idea about trying to find a portal, that reminds me of another movie that came out in the 90s. You probably remember it. Remember Stay Tuned with John Ritter? Remember how every single episode they had to find a way out? Kind of reminded me of that a little bit. I can't help but wonder if maybe that idea was influenced, but who the hell knows at this point. But did you catch that when we see Napoleon later on, we actually see the Mona Lisa right behind him?
Yeah, because you see that when they get to Sherwood Forest, the Mona Lisa is right there in plain fucking view. But the guy, or Randall, pretty much, the guys are just pretty much following him. And Wally is, like I said, is the only voice of reason. They want to become interdimensional thieves and steal shit from different spokes in time. And their first stop is Italy when Napoleon's invading Italy. And they kind of carter him. They get him drunk. He passes out. Randall sends Strutter out to look for the fucking hole. Like, find the time portal, and it's like almost midnight. And they fucking rob Napoleon fucking blind. We even see his hand is made of gold. I don't know how.
I'd have to look that one up. I don't remember that one from history, but then again,
I think that might just be the story. They rob him blind. The soldiers see him and chase him. They get into the fucking portal. They're gone. One thing I'm going to say is, why does the portal have to open in the middle of the fucking sky?
No kidding.
When every time they come through, they fucking fall almost to their death every fucking time. But yet the
portal is always like a doorway. It's like, it's like, why? I don't get that. They're lucky they survived that fall every time, to be honest with you.
Well, they landed on an old-ass barn the first time. The second time, they landed on a stagecoach that had Vincent and Pansy on there with all their money. That they took all of that, too. There were a bunch of thieving little bastards. And freaking Randall's like, well, we can sell some of this stuff to Robin Hood. And Robin Hood, as we know the story, and we've never confirmed if he's legitimately real or not. I think
he's more of a legend. Maybe like an idea of somebody who existed, and maybe it was just extensively fabricated throughout time. But who the hell knows?
That like King Arthur and Excalibur, it's just like a legend of some sorts. But they try to sell it to him, and he's like, "Oh no, we're going to give it to the poor." And Randall's like, "What?
Wait,
no. That's not what we do. That's not what we do here." And then they're like, well, fuck it, we're out. They fucking leave. And at this time, we're introduced to the evil genius who's watching, or he's talking to his little minions. And then they're talking about the supreme being and how he creates everything. And he gets upset, kills the dude, and goes, I created me. I created myself. Evil cannot exist without the good. And I'm like, okay,
not
he's
entirely
not
wrong about that. Yeah.
No, but we find out later on he's full of shit because he doesn't know any
not
better.
really.
But he convinces the guys through Ogre, who again this is the Jedi mind trick in a whole different form. Convinces them to find the most fabulous object in the world, which is actually the dark area where they are on the map. So right as they're about to talk about that, we see the white light again, and God's like, return the map. And then Kevin walks over, and there's a portal, and then a second one pops up, and he's like, fuck, which one?
Yeah, that was weird.
And then Randall's like, no, get away, get away, get away. And then he runs into one, and you hear, not that one. Like, oh, fuck, where's he going?
This map?
Oh, shit, you forgot. Yeah,
this map? This map right here?
Map.
Does that mean, oh, you know what? Maybe I
map.
should put this away. Yeah, let me put that away.
Well, at least you didn't say Joe Henry.
Yeah, see, and you just freaking said it, man. What the hell's wrong with you? One thing I want
the wrestling fans out there will get
exactly. One little minor tidbit I want to mention about the Robin Hood scene. So random. The whole time that they're talking to him, there's a guy in the forefront that is just sitting there messing with a head of lettuce, and I couldn't help but notice it because it's so random. It's just like he's just there peeling off a piece, looking at it, peeling off a piece, and I'm like, this is done by, now that I know that it's done by the Monty Python guys, I wonder if there's some kind of hidden significance that we don't know about.
I don't know anything about that. Although I couldn't help but, again, the dude who's arm wrestling and is ripping dudes' arms off by their fucking socket. I'm like, dude, is Chewbacca working there? What the fuck? And then he had a basket full of arms. Like, I'm gonna save these arms. I'm gonna cash them in. I'm gonna be a rich man. But Kevin goes through the portal, and they're like, no. And the next thing we see Agamemnon fighting this fucking beast. He's getting his ass whooped too, by the way. He's getting the shit kicked out of him. He's done. Kevin, the portal opens. Kevin falls right on top of him, distracting the beast long enough for the guy to go, hey, here's this spear that you threw at me before I killed you, which I thought was fucking stupid. He legit was like, here you go. I dare you. Shit, you did. I'm dead. Kevin's by himself. This dude's Agamemnon's like, who sent you? You know, the gods, Zeus, Apollo. I think he's naming off all these Greek mythology names, and I'm like, okay. And then he takes off his helmet, and it's Sean Connery. I'm Bond, James Bond. Oh, wait, I'm in the past. I'm Bond before Bond. Turns out he's King Agamemnon, this ancient, I guess, Greek city, which his queen is a bitch.
Yeah, she never says a word, but she's always got this scowl on her face every time we see her.
She's got that resting bitch face.
She just
those of you listening and not watching, this is the best. I was married to a woman who had resting bitch face, so this is the best impression I can give.
Yeah, it looks like she needs to be inserted with something, if you know what I mean. Plenty of times, over and over again.
Damn. Damn. Anywho, Agamemnon takes him back to the city, and he decides. Kevin has a Polaroid. For those who don't know what a Polaroid camera is, Polaroid camera is an instant camera that will give you the picture that quick. It's better than digital, I swear to God, because you have a physical copy of it. So he's taking pictures. He's doing this thing. And then Agamemnon goes, look, if you want to stay, I will make you my son, and you'll be the next ruler of this city. And I'm like, whoa,
no kidding,
what a deal.
Right? But no,
it doesn't happen
guess
that
who
way.
Shows up to screw that up.
They have a banquet, and the guy and they look on Kevin's face is like, oh no, like he's like, shit. Oh, like oh crap, they fucking found me. How would they not find you? Randall knew where you were. He said not that one, so he knew where you were going. So they fucking kidnap him, and they steal the crown. They steal the fucking crown. And they disappear. The fucking pearl just happens to be right there. They disappear. And Sean Connery was like,
what? Yeah, they robbed everybody blind, and nobody had a clue what they were doing.
No,
they thought it was all part of the show. Next thing we know, they're on the Titanic.
Oh, this is going to end well.
Where's Rose?
Nothing bad ever happened on the Titanic.
No, and I don't think they knew which ship they were on. That's the funny part, is I don't think they knew. Because they talk about, oh, who would have thought this ship would have hit an iceberg? I'm like,
Did you not know what ship
Apparently
you were
not.
on?
I kind of guessed it.
Anybody who's everybody knows that the Titanic hit a fucking iceberg and sank. We all know this. And so Kevin's sitting there sulking because he's like, I could have been a king. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. And then Randall's like, well, pout all you want, but I found the most beautiful object in the world. It exists. We can go to it. I know where it's at. It's in the land of legends, I believe is what it was called. Yeah, something like that. Fucking boat sinks.
Oh,
surprise. Oh no. And they're floating on a raft, which again, that would be big enough for Rose and for Jack. That little Kenny Baker was sitting on. That would have been big enough.
The debated aspect of that movie that everybody still debates to this fucking day. But anyway,
Rose is a bitch. I'm sorry. I know this is not the movie we're talking about, but Rose
wasn't
is a
her.
bitch.
It wasn't her fault.
Selfish. She could have moved her little booty over a little bit, and Jack could have lived, and she could have been happy. But no, she had to throw the fucking crystal or the fucking whatever the fuck it was called.
He doesn't even like the movie, like, for the record. He hates Titanic. He hates it.
No. For the record, I walked out halfway through this movie. I hated this movie. This movie was horrible. I hated it.
And yet you like Pearl Harbor.
I was
what the
Pearl
fuck
Harbor,
ever,
sir.
Dude. Extra.
I was an extra in that movie. Yes, I was. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, the Titanic stinks.
How many movies have you been in?
I've been on TV how many times? How many times?
But
how many times have I been on TV?
Once, and you were like 2.
Yeah, so
whatever.
Anyway,
we find out that the evil genius is watching them the whole time and sends them to the land of legends. So they go from wearing black tuxedos to white. I guess everything is a photo negative in this world. And we are introduced to the Ogre family. And Mr. Winston, the Ogre, has a bad back, probably from having to carry the weight of the world on his back. They go fishing. They find everybody, bring them on board, and they're like, we can eat them. And the chemistry between Peter Vaughn and Catherine Hellman as husband and wife was so authentic. It's almost like they were really married, and I don't think they were, but there's definitely, she's like, I don't care if you're an ogre, I fucking love you.
That's love right there, man. That's true love.
Yeah, it's fucking love. Fucking yeah. And so she's like, scare them, put them in the pot, we'll cook them, we'll have a big old meal, everything will be great. So he throws little Kenny Baker in the pot first, and he's squirming like a fish, like, yeah, let me go. Throws him in. He grabs Kevin, who is kind of a smart kid, and he notices, do you have a bad back? Me? A bad back? An ogre? And then he picks him up, and you hear the back crack, and he goes back down. And then Kevin's like, you just need to stretch. Stretching? What's that? And so they lay him on the ground, and they pull all 4 limbs, and he's like, yeah, that's great, but it's a fucking trap. They throw his ass overboard. And he's like loving it. Yeah, this water feels great. He's loving it. He's totally oblivious to what's going on. And then here comes Mrs. Ogre, like, what the fuck happened? Boom, knock her on the ass. She falls overboard. And for the first time in a long time, Winston feels like a fucking man. I can cough. And then he fucking blows this huge amount of wind. Boat goes away, but it's not a boat.
Nope. It's a hat.
It's
a freaking hat. This is where the movie just kind of goes off the deep end and goes into what the fuck territory at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It definitely does. And this giant comes out of the water. You see a family in this little hut. They're arguing. You hear a child screaming. You hear the mom and dad are arguing. And then the giant just goes, oh, I don't care what's in the way. And he fucking steps on the house, and you hear the father go, like this death cry. And then fucking I just walk like, fuck it.
I give them points for using a rear projection for the people on the inside, but that's just hilarious.
Yeah. Fucking giants walking like, whatever. They decide that we've got access to some potions up in here. Kevin finds a sleeping potion. They pour it in this contraption. They poke it down into the floor of
Which
the
is his
ship
skull.
and pump it full of sleeping potion. Yeah, which would make sense because that's a lot of blood flow up there. And then, of course, he's like, what the fuck? And he adjusts the hat. And they're like, it looked like an episode of the original series Star Trek when they get attacked. They all fly one way.
On the living color. Swerve right. Was it?
Yeah.
Whatever they say. Like, doing this shit the whole time. It's like,
Yeah. Obscure reference, but I like it.
Gotta love it.
The giant starts yawning. He gets down, puts the hat down. He passes the fuck out. Now they're walking in like this desert terrain. Like there's nothing out there.
Just skeletons.
Nothing for miles. And then they hit this barrier and they're like, nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. And then Randall's like, we found it, lads. We're here. And then Wally's like, you're fucking
There's
stupid.
nothing.
There's nothing here. He pushes Randall, which we hadn't seen yet, takes the map, and he's trying to figure it out because, again, Randall's been looking at the map the whole time. He's probably got the damn thing memorized at this point. Randall gets up with a fucking skull that just happens to be in the desert. He's like, give it back. Whoa, 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 whoa. Throws the skull, hits this pane of glass, and we see Evil Genius's evil temple of doom. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, very nice. Very subtle.
They walk in, and it's like a fucking game show. We have the game show host and Kevin's parents, and even Kevin's like, this is not real.
No, he tries to warn
them. He's the only one smart enough to understand that this is bullshit. And we get to they all get up to the front, and the game show host is like, oh, give us the map, please. And then we see the game show host from their perspective. And then we go to the other perspective, and it's fucking the Evil Jesus' hand. He just rips it out of their hand, cages them up. They're done. Nice knowing you.
I can't believe they fell for that. I mean, honestly, what about that looked natural to you? I mean, even the way the camera perspective was, it's like, come on, guys. You can't believe this is real.
Well, you can't help but notice that when the game show host asked for the map, it was definitely a lower angle, which we talked about earlier. It wasn't at eye level. It was like a little person or a child looking up going, shit, here's the map. And he didn't ask for the map. He fucking took it like, it's fucking mine now, bitches. Ha. We didn't discuss what the map significant was. When the Supreme Being, God, or whatever you want to call him, created the world, they only had 7. And Randall talks about this at the very end of the movie. They had 7 days. These portals are ways to fix things that weren't 100% done yet. These are ways. This is a way for someone to fix said things. But they're all locked in a cage. And they decide, well, we'll cut some of the rope to get across because there was enough room where they could do it. So you got Wally and Strutter swinging down to the other cage, to the ledge where everything was. And everybody rappels down, except for Wally. Wally falls to his death. Or does he? He does not. He survives. He lives on to fight another day. They decide that we can't do this ourselves. We need to figure stuff out. Kevin, in his brilliance, took pictures of the guys when they were in Sherwood Forest, and he has a picture of the fucking map with a magnifying glass. Randall's like, okay, cool. This is what we can do. So they split up and find different forces or whatever they can to help fight evil. Meanwhile, I believe it was Og who gets turned into a pig.
Yeah, he does. Big. See what I mean about earlier about the whole hog thing? Remember when?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, see what I did there?
Damn! Wow, that was a long joke waiting to hit.
Well, at least it hit finally.
Kevin finally gets the map back and threatens to burn it. And when he does, freaking Evil gets it back and is about to unleash whatever it was he was doing. And all of a sudden, you see a tank smash through the wall. It's Randall giving us the thumbs up. We're good. We see a bunch of knights come in, a bunch of cowboys, some archers, and then Wally shows up with not the real.
Some kind of futuristic looking vehicle that's got like lasers and shit on it. Lasers.
One by one, Evil takes them out. First, he takes out the cowboys. They lasso him, and we get to go on a carnival ride. Isn't that fun, kids?
Okay, The whole thing about how he's got the wranglers circling around him, and then the knife comes out of his head. You know what that reminded me of? Go, Gadget, knife. Reminded me of Inspector Gadget.
He fucking pulls the knife out. It starts circling, and then it cuts. I'm like, wow, that's fucked up. And then the archers take their places. They fire all their arrows, and I keep wanting to call him Death, but he's not Death. Evil turns himself into Violet Beauregard. Those that know.
Yeah, no kidding. Nice.
This giant fucking bubble, and then he starts to inhale and exhale to make it tighter. Then the arrows go back and kill all the archers,
which is weird because the arrows go into him normally, but when he shoots them out, you would think they would all hit everybody backwards.
No,
but when you notice, all the arrows are like normal, as if he managed to somehow get them to turn 180 and shoot like regular arrows.
Think of it this way: the pointy end of the arrow is heavier than the feather on the back. So by the laws of physics, they would have flipped at one point.
Nice way to debunk that theory.
They may not have been but then again, he can do all kinds of cool shit. So maybe he was able to. He pulled a RoboCop, was like, bing, bing, target. You know, maybe he did that. I don't know. We don't know what his abilities are. Next, we get the fucking knights in shining armor. Evil puts on a fucking gas mask. You see all this gas coming out of his hands, and I'm like, and you just hear this scuffle. The air clears. They are all impaled in some form or fashion. And then Wally and Rand are like, fuck it, we got the heavy arms. Let's fucking go. And he ends up controlling both, which again, goes back to that whole arrow thing that he probably could manipulate the arrows to hit them. In their fight, fucking Fidget, for some stupid reason, decides to get into the line of fire. He gets squashed by a column. R2-D2 is dead.
You know what came to mind after he got hit by the column?
When R2-D2 got hit by the Jawa?
I've lost R2.
Even better.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that, and then you're done.
That works.
And of course, Wally loses his fucking shit. You motherfucker! And then Evil just turned into a giant, or at least I'm not sure what he was trying to do, but I think this is my theory. I think God intervened and turned it into a giant rock.
Basically, a giant piece of stone, a death stone, if you will.
Yeah, I think the Evil had something else in mind. God intervened and said, "Nah, we're done. We're cool." God shows up, very well dressed Englishman. Like, I hate clutter. Pick up this mess. And I'm like, if you don't like mess, then you've never been to Corpus.
Talks about Kevin being a messy boy, which is funny because earlier in the film, in his room, he's got toys all over the floor, and it's
shit is everywhere.
It's like, man, Mom would have not let that shit fly in our house. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh no, God, no, Mom would have.
No way.
They're like, tidy up, and Wally's like, well, Fidget's dead. And then God's like, really? That's no excuse. He brings him back to life like nothing. I'm like, okay.
Exactly.
They push over Evil. Before we get to that, Randall has a conversation with the Supreme Man. We didn't mean to steal it. You didn't steal it. I gave it to you. Like, it's just this twist. Like, he gave it to him to test this evil that he wanted to put out in the world. And obviously, it was a failed experiment. And that's when Kevin's like, so all these people had to die? Yeah. Like, wow. Okay.
What a dick. Seriously, like, what the hell, dude?
I don't know why, but I think it's Spicoli. You dick.
No kidding.
They knock over Evil. He breaks into a bunch of little pieces, and he's like, that's pure concentrated evil. One drop of that, you'll turn into Herman crabs. I'm like, okay, that's a random fucking animal to turn into.
No kidding.
So they're going to go, apparently they got demoted at their job with the Supreme Being, but now they're at their other spot, but they're taking a 19% cut, dated all the way back to the beginning of time. I'm like, fuck. So you ain't getting paid, bro. That's all it is. You ain't getting paid.
Pretty much.
Fidget tries to convince the Supreme Being, hey, we should bring Kevin. Like, oh, he's got to continue the fight. I'm like, what fight?
What fight? Yeah. What the hell are you talking about?
Evil just fucking died. They disappear. Kevin's coughing all the smoke. And then we get the realization that Kevin is in his bed. It didn't happen. He wakes up in a smoke-filled house. Fireman carries him out because the house is on fire. And it turns out the fireman is none other than Sean Connery again. Dun dun. I don't have that.
Yeah,
I don't have that
it
queued
here.
up.
Nice going, man. Dropping the ball.
Maybe I do. Hold on. Oh, nope. That's Boo This Man. That's not the. Oh. Sean Connery is the fireman. Kevin's going through he's in the same attire he was in when he left initially, so we think. So he goes through and he sees all the pictures that he took. They're still there, and he's like, holy fuck, this really fucking happened.
It really happened. Thank you.
And the firemen bring out, I guess it's the toaster oven.
Yeah.
And the fireman's like, this is what started the fire. And they open it up, and there's a little block of evil. And Kevin's like, fuck, Mom, Dad, do not touch it. You do not eat. It's evil. Don't touch it.
And what do they do?
What's the first thing they do? They put it down. They walk away safely, happy, fucking ending, roll the credits. Wrong answer. These two dipshits were like, I wonder what it, and they touch it. They fucking explode. They're done. The fireman, Sean Connery, gets into the fire truck, but before he does, he leans out and just kind of gives him a wink like he did in back in the day. And then Kevin's there like, Mom, Dad, and then we pan out and the movie's
that's
over.
the movie. And
I'm
even
like,
as a kid,
like,
I remember thinking, what?
That's a really fucked up way to end the movie, but we pan all the way out. We see the entire map. It gets rolled up, comes off the screen, and then we get Dream Away by George Harrison. Movie is over. I do remember as a kid, this came in 81, so I was 5 at the time. But I think I was 7 the first time I saw it. Definitely left an impression, like, ooh, adventure. Like, Star Wars did the same thing, but this was on a real world level, not a fantasy world level. Granted, time travel is still not a thing, despite what Hot Tub Time Machine says. But yeah, this is a crazy. I compare it to Pulp Fiction the first time I saw it. First time I saw Pulp Fiction, I thought, I should probably be high when I watch this movie next time. And I was, and it made more sense.
I was going to make a mention that this movie, because of how weird and out of left field it is, I feel like you would be beneficial watching this either high as a Georgia pine or tripping balls on acid, because that's how weird this freaking movie is. But I can't say it's not without merit, and it does have some occasional humor along the way. Maybe not as much as some of the other Monty Python films per se, but it definitely has some. I mean, I'm sorry, but the running joke with the couple with Shelley Duvall and Michael Palin, that's actually funny because they play the same couple throughout 2 different periods of time. And they get interrupted by these little shits falling on them twice in a row.
And then Shelley Duvall does that.
Yeah, that orgasmic look on her face.
What the fuck are you doing, lady?
She's doing something.
The budget for we talked about this earlier, but the budget for this movie was $5 million, which was through a mortgage of an office building. Box office domestically here in the U.S. it did 36 million, but it did 42 million worldwide. So it's just by those numbers, and these are 81 numbers. That's a success. That's a great film.
Right. It's very true.
So, but we don't care about that. We don't care about all that shit. What we care about is what we think of the movie. But before we do that, we're going to talk about Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes scores, which I don't believe is gospel, but I'm always curious what people have to say about it.
Yeah.
Since you're the only one here, I had to take. He didn't put in any PTO, by the way, so I need to let him reprimand for that.
Is that would that be considered a final warning at this point?
No, that's his first time.
No?
His first.
Oh, okay, first offense.
No, actually, no, it's his second one because he didn't do Ernest Saves Christmas either.
So
no call, no show.
You're in trouble, sir.
The tomato meter, which again is the critics. What do you think they rated this movie?
I don't know. I feel like they probably didn't rate this one high. I'll go 50% on this one.
I'm gonna come back to that one.
Okay.
Popcorn meter, which is the fans. What do you think the fans gave it?
60%, maybe
77.
Wow. Okay.
Fairly high. but it's lower than what the critics gave it.
What?
Yes.
Oh, let me guess. They gave it like an 85 or some shit.
Nope.
90.
92% is what the critics gave it.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not. 100%
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I wouldn't have called that. That's insane.
But
one thing I will say, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was a couple of things I was going to say about Evil, because I do think he was an interestingly weird character. But you know what? There at the end, he apparently had a Darth Vader complex by killing as many of his underlings as possible. He even looks at one of them like, "Hey, so and so, it's your time." Oh, thank you, Master. Thank you. And he blows up all of his underlings.
Which kills everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what's wrong with you, dude? Like,
especially the one dude is like, well, didn't he create you? And he blows up. He comes back together, and then he blows up. I'm like, dude, did you hate him that much? You blew him up twice?
No shit, right? That's like pushing the rewind button on video games online nowadays.
Yeah. But again, we don't care about that. We're going to talk about what we thought. Scuba obviously is not here to give a review, and again, he's never seen this movie before, so he will not be able to. We try to be unique in our ratings. What did we do from dusk till dawn last time?
We did 5 water-filled condoms. That's what we did.
Fuck yeah, because we talked about pissing on vampires.
Yeah.
This time we're gonna do time portals, which makes sense for this movie.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mr. Psycho, what do you rate this movie? 1 to 5 time portals.
Okay, well, first off, I will say that as a kid watching this, I remember enjoying it immensely because we watched this religiously growing up. It was one of the movies that Mom recorded, and it makes sense that Mom would have liked it because it was done by the Monty Python people. She's the one who introduced us to that, too.
That's true.
And watching the movie as many times as we did as a kid, I went over 20 years without watching this movie again. No particular reason, just didn't get around to it. Bought it on Blu-ray when I found out it was available. It didn't hit as well as it did when we were kids. I remember watching it. It was like the equivalent of watching Pee-wee's Playhouse after not watching it for 25 years. It was like, I actually watched this shit? What was I thinking? But that's not entirely fair after watching it again now. I feel like there's a lot of good acting going on. The production value is pretty nice. I actually know a little bit about the production of the film between the costumes and the decor. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
all the different sets and whatnot. They clearly put a lot of effort into this movie, and it really shows. But that doesn't change the fact that this is a really off-the-wall, off-putting movie. It really is weird. But I can't say it's not fun, so I can't be too critical about it. So I'm going to give it 3 portals. It's not terrible. It's not stupendous. And I can't see watching this movie that many more times with whatever time I have left in my lifetime. But I will watch it again down the road to have some fun with it. So I give it 3. I think 3 is fair. It's fair.
Anyway, my take on this movie. I love it as a kid. I love it even more as an adult. Probably more because I can actually appreciate some of the humor that I probably didn't get at the time as a child. And a lot of familiar faces in this movie now. The back then didn't know any different, but now a lot of familiar faces. This is definitely an adventure movie that even as an adult I can appreciate. And the fact that it was done by Monty Python and has one of the Beatles in it definitely, has that appeal. Great movie from start to end. I remember watching this yesterday and I was like, how much more do I have left? I was just curious how much time I had left. And I was like, almost done. I'm like, wow, that hour and a half went by really fucking fast. That just means I was invested in the movie and I hadn't seen it in a minute. So with that being said, I give this movie 4.5 time portal.
Wow.
I give it a high rating. I love this movie.
So if you give it 4.5, that means when you try to go through that half one, you're going to get hit when you walk through the portal.
I'm used to ducking under doors anyways. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll bet you are, Sasquatch.
But
I'm sorry, Beanpole. Beanpole. That's what it is.
Lurch was always my favorite.
Oh, Lurch. That's what it was. Lurch. I couldn't remember.
But overall score, because Dipshit here brought it down, 3.75. And we do not round up here at the Real Movie Critics.
You know Scuba's going to get you for that one, right?
For what? For giving it a 4.5?
No, for the rounding up thing like we did last week.
We're not grading on a curb here, seriously. But on that note, that will conclude this review of the movie Time Bandits. If you've, and I will plug it because it's such a. I think it's a great fucking flick. It's on HBO Max. Watch it.
I was just gonna say, is it available
It's on HBO
anywhere?
Max. I mean, I have a digital copy on my hard drive. We need to get that in our cloud sometime in the near future. I know you have it on DVD and Blu-ray and all that good shit.
I do have it on Blu-ray because physical media is where it's at, bro.
Oh my God, shut up.
Physical media, man.
Respect the classics, man.
That's right. That's right.
Fuck off. But yeah, definitely give it a check out on HBO Max. It's definitely worth watching. And if you already have it, it's not like it's going to cost you anything.
I would be the first to say that, you know what? Yes, I think everybody should give it a try.
I
Judge it for yourself. I agree with that comment.
If you like Monty Python, if you like the Holy Grail, you'll like this movie. I feel like you'll like. You may not think it's the greatest thing since sliced fucking bread, but you'll like it. You'll add it to your list and watch it again down the road. But this will be the final movie that we release for the month of January. Yeah, this will drop on the 25th. And then the week after is the beginning of February. February will be an interesting month. Looking ahead, February will be John Hughes month, and as well as mine and Scuba's birthdays. Looking ahead, we'll be doing Uncle Buck and The Breakfast Club. My birthday pick was originally going to be The Green Lantern. I changed that to Clerks.
Yay.
And Scuba, whose birthday is not long after mine, he's picking the Evil Dead remake, so I'm looking forward to that.
Ooh, that is such a good one.
So February will be a full month. Again, it'll be birthdays and John Hughes. We probably should have done 16 candles, but that's okay. Definitely not
one of my favorites either. No.
Never.
But then again, he had so many movies, man. It's hard to pick just a couple, you know?
Yeah. Maybe next year we'll pick two others.
Possibly.
Well, that being said, Psycho Nerd, promote your shit.
All right. Well, you can feel free to find my my podcast, the Psycho Nerd Podcast, on YouTube. Just type that out. You'll find it very easily. And also, you can find all of my podcasts on my YouTube channel, Repeat Movie Viewer. I am currently putting out a couple of videos this week. Stay tuned for that. I won't get specifics since somebody told me not to do that. So,
yeah,
somebody told me not to do that. So, I promise there is some new stuff coming out. Apparently, my last video is not doing too bad. 25 views already. After 6 days. I'm surprised. So yeah, it was just me showing off all of my big box sets, all my DVD and Blu-ray big box sets that I have in my collection. Apparently it's already got, it even has a comment. I got my first comment outside of my girlfriend. So there you go.
Shit, I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry.
Fuck you. Fuck
no,
you.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I know. I'm happy.
I do know on the Zodiac podcast, I released that 2 days ago, and it's already up to 20 views. I'm like, fuck, okay.
It makes you feel good, doesn't it?
But I will say it's not anything I'm doing. It's Miss Nicole. She is promoting the fuck out of my show, and I cannot thank her enough for that. So we're trying to get those numbers up. But yeah, Repeat Movie Viewer on YouTube, not just the Real Movie Critics, but also the Just Zodiac podcast. I did this tagline earlier. I know it's the greatest podcast you never heard of, but it's also real reviews of wrestling by real fans. And I see a lot of fake ones out there lately that just want to get paid. They're not loving it for the love of it. They're loving it for the money. And I think that's wrong.
That's for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, exactly. But you can find the Just Zodiac podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. This weekend, we're going to be dropping the first of our 12 classic pay-per-view reviews with me and the Psycho Nerd. We'll be talking about the Royal Rumble 2012. We have a whole slate of movies coming up on the Real Movie Critics. You can find us on Spotify and on YouTube. But description will be down below to my Linktree page. It has everything, including the Facebook pages for both and my TikTok where I post the little shorts, which I also put those on YouTube. But that being said, for the Psycho Nerd and for Lord Scuba Copper, who is not here, I am the Just Zodiac. We appreciate you watching the Real Movie Critics. And remember, kids, there's always time for one.
There's always time for another binge. That's how you do it.
See, no.
Go ahead, do it again.
For the Psycho Nerd and Lord Scuba Copper who's not here, I am the Just Zodiac. This has been the Real Movie Critics. Until we see you next time, remember, kids, there's always time for one more binge. We will see you next time.
from me.